Hi, this is Declan Shalvey, former artist of Moon Knight, and you're listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast.
Yes, welcome back, Loony listeners. You are listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast. This is episode 268, and you are with your two High Priests of Khonshu, Rebecca and myself. Rebecca, how are you?
I'm all right, but still a bit half asleep. I don't know why, but I'm getting there. I've been working for a few hours, so I shouldn't be, but you know.
Right, you've been working quite intensely, right?
Yeah. Somebody's left work, so I've been doing a lot of extra. So
lumped with their stuff, huh?
Yeah, but the good news is I still have Wednesday mornings off for the
nice.
Moon Knight, little Moon Knight show that you may have heard is coming.
Excellent. Yes, exactly. And welcome back, Loony listeners. This is the 268th episode. Who cares about the phase? We're going a bit off scripts for the next few episodes at least. This is an idle chat. It's another Understanding DID, but we're looking at the DID Awareness Day on the 5th of March. So I'm going to get, Rebecca and I are going to get this out quick sticks. So we're recording on the 2nd here in Australia and the UK. But hopefully we can fill you in with some info regarding the Awareness Day. Before any of that, of course, big thank you to all our sponsors, the Patroonies. Of course, they're always treasured and much appreciated. Big top-tier sponsors, Drew Tombz with his music, Tombz and LURKMUSICK, Daniel Doing with Fringe Night, his original comic book creation, CLZ Comics by Collectorz and Dreamland Comics from Schoenberg, Illinois.
Yes, thank you all.
Yes, thank you all.
Keeping us going.
Yeah, it's great, actually. Just a little bit of the housekeeping side of things, Rebecca. We are doing really well. Thank you so much for the Patreon membership. I'm thinking of actually upgrading our I know you love StreamYard, Rebecca, so I'm thinking of upgrading.
Love it.
I'm thinking of upgrading it. Oh, to be fair, it's good.
To be fair, it's worked really well the last few times, and it is really nice seeing people's comments while we're recording. I actually do like it.
That's a lot of fun. Yeah, but I'm thinking of Sorry, Rebecca?
No, it makes you feel like you're not just talking to each other. You know, like I mean, I know people listen to the podcast, but I know from the other podcasts, you usually get a lot more interaction on things like the Facebook group, even when people aren't listening to the podcast. So it's kind of nice when you're recording it to just like see the names pop up and go, oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, I mean, look, and it's no surprise as well. I think the majority of our listeners, Rebecca, are from the US, so apologies that time zones may not potentially work for the US. Rebecca and I, we record, I guess, tantamount to early morning for the US listeners, but a big thank you for those that do drop in.
Yeah, it's kind of middle of the night for them, for a lot of them, but
exactly.
Or very early morning. But I'm sorry, we're very when we do the rewatches of Moon Knight episodes, and when we do the longer episodes, we may pay more attention to Americas because we'll be doing it over the weekend. So we haven't like fully hashed out times, but definitely the rewatches will be more friendly to Americans.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hope so as well. Exactly, because big part of those that listen, of course, and those that tune in and comment are from the US. So it's always great to be able to interact with all of you as well. Rebecca, I see on White Noise, before we dive into DID Awareness Day, we've got some things like Moon Knight related.
Yeah, a few little Moon Knight things. I mean, look, start of March, and Disney came out the gates with it's time to advertise Moon Knight properly. I mean, they were anyway, but we have some emojis on
how cool
Twitter.
Yeah. Have you been using it?
The only ones that have so far been discovered are Mr. Knight and Moon Knight.
Yes.
Both with hashtags.
I tried Mr. Knight. It didn't work, but Moon Knight did. But,
yeah, Moon Knight didn't work for me originally.
Oh.
It gave me the goat instead, which was quite funny. But it takes a while, I think, for Twitter for it to seep through.
Okay.
And usually they release. I know with some of the Hawkeye ones, they release them as characters were introduced in the show.
Right.
I also tried Khonshu and nothing came up.
Ooh, nice.
But I can't really. I tried Arthur Harrow, nothing.
Layla.
I didn't really know what else to try.
No, yeah,
well,
you're right.
Layla
Khonshu.
just seems really non-specific. Like,
True,
will they actually
true.
make? I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see. But I thought Khonshu would be a good bet, and that one's not there yet because that one wouldn't be a spoiler as such.
No, no.
So yeah,
Mark Spector, maybe.
I guess we might get
try that.
Mark Spector.
Yeah, Stephen Grant. I mean, the ones that you've tried for sure. I mean, they seem like the logical choices.
Try the other ones. I didn't try. To be fair, I was working while I was doing it, but yeah, we should try the other ones. But I wouldn't be surprised if in coming days we see them showing off a few more.
Yeah. Look, as you say, it's in its infancy, and it takes a while for Twitter. I used the hashtag Moon Knight, and I got a response from one of our fellow loonies, Sparky Malarkey. She just said agreed, and I had to look at what I posted, and there was no emoji. It was just like hashtag Moon Knight. So it's like, oh, okay, just randomly hashtagging Moon Knight.
Just randomly hashtagging Moon Knight. Why not?
But yeah,
I did.
Yeah,
I deleted my tweet afterwards.
Oh, did you?
Them, yeah.
I keep them up there. Why not? But a lot of fun for loonies there. Those that are on Twitter and like to tweet, give it a go. Because I always did like how Marvel did all the, whenever the Avengers or Endgame and stuff, you get the little emojis, and a little part of me was thinking, oh, will there ever be like a Moon Knight one? But here we are. So
2 Moon Knight ones.
Two Moon Knight. I know. How cool is that?
They're very cute as well.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they look like I guess like little Funkos, or
A little bit, yeah. Like what's
There's another toy actually. Yeah.
So the Moon Knight one's got his like mummy outfit. So
Yeah.
the Moon Knight one's got bandages across the mouth and they're both in crescent moons.
Yeah.
And then the Mr. Knight one, they've tried to show that scar down the mask that they've got for the shirt. So that's pretty cool. They're pretty detailed for. I can't really see them on Twitter, like. 'Cause
Oh
I'm
yeah,
so
that's
blind.
pretty small. Yeah. I'm on my phone. It's the little
this
speck.
Is like a white blob.
Yeah, exactly. We need a bit more colour, Moon Knight. Come on, otherwise we just see a white blob.
The Mark Spector one will be like really colourful.
Yeah. You reminded me there, Rebecca. Just a little bit of time, maybe to speculate. That stitch down Mr. Knight, a lot of people are commenting on it. And this leads into one of the other bits of news, that the Mr. Knight poster, which Marvel have released, or Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So we get a second poster. Awesome. I mean, we did see from the Empire article and photos Mr. Knight, but we get an up-close thing. What are your thoughts on the poster?
It's interesting that this one doesn't have the glowing eyes.
Yeah.
Because, which I think is probably what most people have commented on.
Yes.
Is that we get to see the whites of his eyeballs, which are definitely touched up, and almost looks like they've drawn little crescent moons on under his eyes.
Oh.
Which is it's a kind of funky effect. I can't decide. I think the glowing eyes look more superhero, and the seeing his eyes look more serial killer.
Yeah.
Very creepy in the best possible way.
Yeah, so you do like it. I mean, I think it's just
I do like it. I also think that I think wearing gloves always reminds me of serial killers, like that kind of glove.
Yeah.
So that freaks me out. So I love the suits.
But you get this, it's not, I mean, I'm not saying that I don't like it, but it's just not the suit I thought. There's so many textures to it. It's so...
I love it.
Yeah, I was
It's a proper full-on double-breasted three-piece suit you just don't see very often. And that tie knot. My God. Enjoy cosplayers, as I said. It's called an eldridge. It's called an eldridge tie knot.
Eldridge tie knot. Just get those ones with the elastic band behind it and just slap it on. Yeah, that's the easiest
what
way.
I really like about it is it's so clearly fancy.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
This is not one somebody's just picked up off the rack. And the same with the fact they've gone with double-breasted, because, you just wouldn't.
But the textiles, I mean, the fabric is just...
I assume that's to make it easier to film.
Oh, okay. Right.
Because it means you can pick up different colours rather than just all white.
Yeah.
because as we have heard and been told, it's very hard to film all white.
Yeah.
So I assume the textures have been added for that, but I really love them. Like, for me, they just scream fancy, and this is someone with money. And so that's interesting, because obviously what we've seen in the trailer so far, we haven't seen any side of Stephen Grant's money that we're used to from the comics.
Yeah.
And this suit is kind of the first nod to someone with a lot of money.
So what do you...
it may just be a suit he's been given. I'm not saying it's definitely a sign, but like it is a fancy schmancy suit, and you very rarely wear, double-breasted suits. So
it's just... hopefully
he's got braces underneath it.
I saw that. I saw that discussion as well.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how people who don't know Moon Knight are thinking, what they're thinking. I mean, because it's sure they got the first trailer and such, and it seems like it in Jeremy Slater's words, an Indiana Jones-esque kind of supernatural thing.
Yeah, there's literally no hint of what this Mr. Knight is about.
No, and then you get this kind of creepy poster.
I mean, there's a slight flash of the gloves, isn't there, in one of the teasers.
And,
it's fascinating to see what people make of it.
Yeah, and you make.
So, what were you going to say about that stitching down the front?
Oh, going back to that was just what your thoughts may have been, because I thought that would have been one of the most talked about points, because it's apparent and it's not really from the comics, so there's got to be.
It looks pretty hand stitched.
Yeah, so there's got to be an explanation. I mean,
it has to have been cracked open at some point, right?
Because I was thinking, in contrast to, as you were saying, the kind of well-to-do assembly of the suit, you get this, scar that goes across his face. It really goes against the grain,
and it does look like the scar, which is great. Yeah, I have no idea. I have no speculation.
Maybe, this is a bit of a stretch. Maybe it's a little bit of a nod to, Mark Spector in the comics has a scar on his left eye. Maybe that's, a little bit to it. But yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling that has to be explained, or at least we'll see how the suits...
I found somebody yesterday who had worked on the suit, or the poster, and they mentioned who the designer was. So... I think I'll try and look that up at some point. But I liked it yesterday. I liked it in the middle of the night. I went, just remember that was an actual. give a nod to whoever designed these costumes.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's a great. It's got a lot of people. I've seen a lot of positives from it. A lot of people also. There's that kind of same thing that goes with a lot of Marvel posters saying, "Oh, it's so photoshopped and stuff." I just kind of blot that out.
It looks very. This is just a weird observation and totally biased in some ways. That it looks more to me like I've not seen many American suits that look like this.
Okay.
So I don't know if it looks more European British, or if I'm just used to. I've seen more British people wear double-breasted suits. If that makes sense. For
but sure.
It means nothing. That just means that whoever designed it liked that aesthetic.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it could be Stephen Grant. Mr. Knight could be linked to Stephen Grant.
He could, but we don't think he's British, right? Because
that's right.
Dodgy accent. So,
he thinks he's British, so maybe that's.
He may have picked up some fashion sense while over. Who knows?
Yeah.
People do wear double-breasted suits everywhere, but I think I'm more used to seeing them in British TV shows than in American shows. So but I like it. I guess that gives it a sense of being slightly other and also worldly.
Yeah, which is a part of Moon Knight stuff as well. Globetrotting in Volume 1. He's not really... Well, he initially set out to not be just someone stuck in New York or wherever. One of those superheroes.
I decided it means that Khonshu's powers also allow for cleaning clothes.
What?
Well, because somebody was saying if you're killing that, it's going to get so bloody so quickly.
It
and
is.
I'm like, it's one of Khonshu's superpowers. Laundry.
Just revamp.
Getting blood stains out of things.
He can bleach anything. He's got
pretty much.
inbuilt.
Including his bones.
Just one final thing, because you did get me thinking there, Rebecca, about the eyes. Now, do you think seeing the eyes, and I love seeing the eyes because I guess it's where Oscar Isaac can really play to his strengths as an actor rather than behind a mask. But we do see the white eyes, the glowing eyes, as you mentioned in the Empire photos. Do you think there's this eye, exposed eyes in this poster is just for the poster, or do you think we might be able to? Because I can't rationalize why there are both. Yeah. Okay.
I suspect it's just for the poster.
Oh, I hope not.
A bit more to give it some expression. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like literally, we're throwing ideas out here. We have no idea, but we haven't seen his eyes in any of the other costumes.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. I like the exposed eyes. Give us the exposed eyes.
I do quite like them. But they are a lot creepier.
They are exactly. Well, that's why I like them. But anyway, so if you haven't seen the poster, please check it out on any of us. I mean, it's doing the rounds anyway on social media, so you should be able to bump into it. You've got another poster here, Rebecca, as well.
Somebody sent it to me. Like, I think it's a Korean one. Well, the one they sent me looks Korean. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know if it's it looks official. Mm-hmm. And it is of the full mummy suit. Basically, isn't it? In the full mummy suit with a when I say the mummy suit, I mean the Moon Knight suit with the bandages. Mm-hmm. And it definitely looks darker than it does in the show.
Oh yeah,
it's got a lot more black and gold on it.
Looks cool.
And it looks really cool, and it shows you the sort of peaked cowl, glowing eyes.
Yeah.
And they didn't say where it came from.
Okay.
So they just sent me it. But it looks official.
And there's a city in the background, like you're standing on the hill somewhere. If you zoom in, I wonder if any eagle eyes will figure out where that is.
And he has hieroglyphics on his skirt part of the outfit.
How cool is that?
Chunky outfit. Boots are nice as well. Boots are very nice, considering I don't think we've seen the boots before, have we?
No, and there are moons everywhere.
There's moons everywhere, but there's a lot of gold highlighting.
That's so cool. Yeah, I like that as well.
It's really nice.
And I guess that's why I bring that up about the eyes, because, look, I know Tom Holland does it with Spider-Man and other masked superheroes do it, but to me, it feels such a shame. I guess we'll see it in the show, but to get that connect between Oscar Isaac and Moon Knight, you know what I mean? Because it could really be just a guy in a suit, not being Oscar Isaac. So I'm hoping for some sort of connection. But, having said that, I wasn't phased with Tom Holland and Spider-Man, so it's probably not an issue.
Yeah, I think you get used to it once it's in action. So
yeah, true.
But it's very cool. I'm very looking forward to all the toys and comics and everything.
It's all coming out soon. One other little thing I'll just add in, there's not too much to it, but there was an interview with Oscar Isaac as well, and he's saying that he's hoping that this show will blow everyone's minds. He's put everything he has into it, how excited he is for everyone. So, again, always very excited to hear an actor say that about their work. But again.
Yeah. And, he's an executive producer of it, so he really has put everything behind it.
Oh, he is? Okay. Wow.
Yeah, which is really unusual.
It is.
Really unusual for Marvel to do that.
Yeah.
So they wanted Oscar because, I think the only people that have had it have been, Scarlett Johansson in the latest Black Widow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Obvious reasons, but not in any of the other ones.
Yeah.
Jeremy Renner got one in Hawkeye.
Oh, okay.
Which some people think is because it switched from being a film to a TV show, so it's give people a bit of and I think Tom Hiddleston did for Loki.
Oh yes, I saw. Yeah, I remember seeing that. I didn't remember Renner. I mean, I didn't take note of Renner, but yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
I think that. I mean, there may be others. Please correct me. But it's certainly not happened to anyone who's just come into the Marvel
Exactly.
universe.
Just like the new... I mean, it shows the weight of Oscar Isaac as well, so that's great.
And it also really does show that he is fully behind it. Because that's a lot. And we joke about how he recruited Ethan Hawke and he probably recruited F. Murray Abraham.
Yeah.
They've worked together before, and it's just you definitely get the feeling that it's a bit of a, and you hear him talk when he did say it was his baby.
Yeah,
you hear he really is passionate about it, but he's also very well, I hope people like it. So which is nice because he's not coming out I guess it's because I don't know. There's something about Oscar.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it means he's recruited Pedro Pascal down the line.
Me too.
Like, yeah, my Randall.
Oh, he'd be a great Randall. I had him. Well, I had him.
Apart from the fact we'd have to deal with a lot more, neither of them are Jewish.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
But like, they are both Latin American, so
yeah.
At least. But if anyone doesn't know, Pedro Pascal's like his best friend.
Oh right.
So
wow.
yeah, maybe he could just be a tourist at the British Museum.
Or it could be the Mandalorian. I mean, Disney Plus.
Yeah, exactly. That would maybe
yeah, exactly.
Like what a team up.
Really weird crossover. But awesome. So, I mean, we know that Oscar's behind it as well. And the only other last thing, Rebecca, I guess to wrap up, White Noise. And I just added this in. It's a quick little thing. I thought since everyone wanted Moon Knight on the Netflix shows, when Netflix was up and about with their superhero Marvel TV shows, it's pretty nice to hear that March 16th, all the Netflix shows, Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Punisher, Iron Fist, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as well. Although it's not Netflix, that's all coming over to Disney Plus. So
for Anglophone countries.
Yes. For
other countries will be getting it later in the year, but it is not. It is coming to Disney Plus, not Hulu, not Star for us.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they've got around that is they are putting different parental controls on the American one that we have currently. I think we had to do it when we got Star. I think we had to redo the parental settings. Right. So it's the same issue. Like they're going to be. But it is interesting that it happens the same month as Moon Knight because, like you said, it's like that's the one everyone was like, is it going to be as violent as the Netflix Marvel shows? How can it be on Disney Plus? And it's like, well, it may not be as violent because I think it's rated 14 in America and they're obviously rated 18 in the UK. Some of the episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's certainly a foot in the sand for like we are going to have more adult content on Disney Plus in terms of violence and possible swearing.
How do you feel about that?
Disney Plus Punisher is just amusing.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Punisher had some of the most violent scenes I remembered towards the end of season 1. So
I think still Daredevil had the most 18 rated episodes, but also Iron Fist had quite a lot.
Iron Fist, oh my gosh, I remember David Wenham.
Martial arts,
Yeah, but hammering the teeth out of something. Oh my god, I cringe every time I see that. It's just so graphic anyway. So that's a bit of fun. There you go, Loonies. If you haven't got your Blu-rays of them, and if you still love catching them streaming anywhere, they'll be on Disney Plus. So.
And this morning I was on Disney Plus downloading stuff for my journey, so I could watch it.
Yeah.
And Moon Knight was the first thing under coming soon.
Oh yeah,
I was very excited.
I saw that on Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, oh, it's so exciting.
There's also, I guess, sorry, we're kind of still going through to White Noise. Just a little thing, a 12-second montage. On Marvel, they've released a 1 month to go as well, 30 days till. So you get little bits from the TV spot, little bits from the official trailer, just to kind of wet your whistle. But that's been released as well, and that's good. I mean, I love seeing these things. It's more so just that the character you love is getting the attention. You know what I mean?
Absolutely crazy.
We've seen all the content before in the trailer and the TV spot, but it's just cool. They're really, really pushing this, which you'd expect them to do.
We Are Venomaniacs is the Venom Site official podcast for all of your symbiote news, reviews, and point of views about Venom-related comics, movies, television, animation, and merchandise. We are available on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Google Play Music, and YouTube. Join us, won't you?
So anyway, shall we get to, Rebecca, our idle chat, the understanding DID portion? Now, again, what Rebecca and I would like to, shout out is that on the 5th of March, it's DID Awareness Day. And there is the reason why this episode will come out the same time for Patroni's as the General release is on the 2nd of March, because we are cutting it fine, Rebecca, to second here.
Yeah.
There is a webinar, so I'll put the link in the show notes. There's a webinar for, I guess, for understanding a bit more on DID as things go.
I'm going to be tuning in.
Yeah, excellent. It's
if you can't make it, they do send you a link to the video later. So
that's fantastic. Yes.
So don't feel that you have to be up in American times if you're not up or available at American times.
Mm-hmm. And it's just $10, and it's on 6 o'clock Eastern EST Eastern time. I'm assuming that's for the US, the East Coast.
It's actually. I wonder if it means Eastern time because they've not moved to summertime yet.
Right. Okay.
So let's assume Eastern.
Yes.
Oh, Eastern Standard.
Eastern Standard. Yeah, EST.
Yeah. They moved to summer on the 13th, 2 weeks ahead of us.
Ah, right. Yeah, well,
timings are about to get very
exactly.
confusing.
If that isn't confusing enough, loonies, look again. The link is in the show notes. Check it out. There are a lot of presenters here. I was happily surprised to see one is from Australia. That's cool. So the presenters are Kathy Kesselman from Blue Knot Foundation. Also Lexi from Beauty After Bruises, and Rebecca and I, we've spoken about Beauty After Bruises through. Yep. Thankfully, we're very, very grateful through Lena. That's a great NPO. Yeah. Also, Anne Nisley from Beauty After Bruises. She's the co-founder and Survivor Outreach Liaison. Jamie Pollock from An Infinite Mind. Emma Sunshaw from System Speak Podcast. And that's probably a podcast worth checking out, Rebecca.
Yeah,
on mental health. So anyway, there are a whole lot of speakers, definitely worth checking out. It goes for 1.5 hours, and as Rebecca said as well, they can provide you with a video if you aren't able to make it live.
Yeah, and it's $10, so...
Yeah, exactly.
Not much, a few comics worth.
Exactly.
A couple of comics, and the donations are all going to the presenting organisations.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, so definitely worth checking out. I know that there are a few systems, not to say, Rebecca, that this is only going out to those, as part of a DRD system. It goes out to everyone, but we know that, in the community, and of course Moon Knight having DID, it is something that, Rebecca and I and Into the Night, we try to make people aware of, and if you're interested to learn more about it, it's certainly something that you can do with other loonies such as Lena and Jaybird. So we have a couple of comments here, I guess, on what the day means to them. I threw it out on the social media platforms, just asking, DID Awareness Day is coming up. If you'd like to write in, and happy to just share some stories or what it means to you, please do so. So Rebecca, we've got, maybe we should start with Lena's.
Yeah, do you want me to do that one?
Yeah, sure, cool.
I thought I'd step in and take the longer one. Hello, my fellow denizens of Into the Night. As I'm sure you all know by now, I'm a passionate advocate of DID awareness. This is important to me because I know how damaging the world's lack of awareness about DID can be. Even among mental health professionals, there's many misconceptions about DID, which have led to many people with DID being undiagnosed or misdiagnosed. Studies have shown that on average, people with DID are misdiagnosed for about 5 to 7 years before they get the correct diagnosis. For us personally, it was about 9 years. Those 9 years were a nightmare of confusion and self-doubt, which eventually led to being admitted to a behavioural health facility due to self-harm. That's why I want to do all I can to educate others about DID, so that hopefully other systems won't have to go through what we did. Of course, with all the unfair stigma about DID, reinforced in the public mind by decades of horror movies and other fictional media, this leads to another common problem. Many people who have DID are afraid to tell anyone about it or seek any type of treatment because they're afraid of how they'll be treated by others who may fear this disorder. So they choose to suffer in silence, which leads to a sense of hopelessness, which often leads to self-harm and suicide. Another study found that 70% of people with a diagnosis of DID have at least attempted suicide at some point in their life. I believe this statistic could be decreased if there's more education about DID, both among the general public and mental health professionals. Because of all of this, I'm grateful that there's a DID Awareness Day to help bring attention to this highly misunderstood and stigmatized condition. I'm grateful for organizations like the ISSTD, International Society for the Study of Trauma and Dissociation, who are dedicated to researching DID and other trauma-related disorders, fighting stigma, and finding ways to improve treatment for these disorders. I am beyond grateful for our therapist, the one who finally gave us the correct diagnosis of DID, who's helped us learn how to work through our trauma and cooperate as a system to live a more healthy life. I'm also extremely grateful to Ray and Rebecca for allowing me to partner with their podcast to help educate others about DID. I said D&D. Sorry.
Rebecca.
I think I was distracted by being thanked.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, sorry. Last but not least, I'm grateful to all of you in the Looney community, in the Internet Facebook group, Discord, and other social media for being so welcoming to us and other DID systems in the ITK fan base, and to be open to learning more about us. We appreciate that more than you'll ever know, because every person who learns the truth that we're not as scary as the horror movies make us out to be is one step closer to a world in which we can be accepted for who we are, and who we also are all of the others who we are, who we also are.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think Lena got you there towards the end.
Got me, yeah, but it does make sense, and I get it.
Yes.
Thank you, Lena.
Oh, thank you so much, Lena, as well, and yeah, exactly. A huge thank you to yourself and the likes of Jaybird as well for being quite vocal and making us
willing to tell us about it and let me ask you dumb questions in Discord all the time.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate aren't dumb questions. That's me talking them down, but for just making me feel that I can ask the questions without being judged.
Yeah. For sure.
I think is because they always come from, and they always come from the a point of I don't have anyone else to find this out from, and because I'm comfortable asking. So you have instituted that level of comfort that I feel that I can just sort of say, hey.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Can I just
Yeah, I mean, and thanks so much as well, Lena, for sharing. I mean, there's quite a bit in here that you have shared. Very much appreciate. And yeah, Rebecca, I mean, it is. I guess that makes DID Awareness Day all the more important as well, knowing that the percentage of potential self-harm and suicide because of this stigmatization and just being felt like you're ostracized from the rest of society. I mean, I can only imagine.
And it must be so hard to just step up and say, I want to be able to explain this to you.
Yeah, oh yeah,
so there's a lot of bravery.
Yeah, exactly. So, a huge thank you, Lena, as well. For those that haven't caught up with it, just do a search in your podcast catcher for Understanding DID. There are a few parts that Rebecca and I and some others have gone through with Lena's articles, and you can find Lena's articles all about DID on our webpage, itkmoonnight.com. Just look for the link in there. Got another one here, Rebecca. Look, I wanted to include this one in. It wasn't exactly like a formal response to what DID Awareness Day means to them, but I have been chatting with Jaybird quite more frequently, most recently, and yeah, I know that they've been busy, but they really do want to contribute, so I wanted to read this out. And Jaybird says, I wish I wasn't dealing with a ton of life stuff, or I'd write something more coherent, but I'm so glad this community is boosting our voices and your continued efforts to include newbies like me in the podcast and I don't know, the general show vibe is fantastic and nerdy, and the DID focus on top is just brilliant, and I'm sappy over you all being cool AF. Leave it at that. Thank you so much, Jaybird. Just want to say, look, obviously no pressure to submit anything, whatever you're comfortable with time constraints and such, but it's just really good to hear from you, and look, all your comments on Facebook all really appreciated. I know sometimes on Facebook, the Facebook groups got very big. Yes. And people aren't always great about representation or a little bit haphazard about it. Yes. And, it's not everybody. Generally, exactly. I think, I brush off some of those comments, and I think other people should too. It's what matters is that
there are people, and I think most of the core group, who want this DID portrayed as realistically as possible, given a TV show, and better than has been before. I think I'm going for better than we've seen before.
Yeah, I think me too.
In a TV show.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that's what I would like, is for the representation to become on such leaps and bounds that while it doesn't need to be a big medical dialogue in the show, but it looks like they've actually thought about it and come to it with respect.
Yes.
Because, I've been very open. I don't know what it would be like. I don't understand. I almost came at it from the other angle of I've got a friend with schizophrenia, so I knew that it definitely wasn't that. So I think I had that leg up, is that I already knew that when they were saying he was schizophrenic, it was totally not. But everything else has been a big, long learning journey for me, and I'm really proud that that's what this podcast that I help. I talked Ray and Connor into founding. I would say I helped found it, but I was there.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, but mostly it was support, because you guys were going to do it, and I was going to be I'll step in when I can. But really, Ray's made it his own. Widened it, brought everyone in to help present. So it's not reliant on anyone but Ray, really, I guess. But then it's become a place where systems can come and feel that they can talk about this, because where else would we have got this experience? And this dialogue? And so I wanted to say thank you to you guys for being brave enough to talk about these things openly in social media and areas where sometimes people can be a little bit unfeeling and quick to judge, and we've always got your back. So
yes, for sure, 100%. I just want to say that as well. I mean, with our community, we try to make it as safe and as a pleasant environment for everyone to be in. So we do have Rebecca, myself, and there are a few admins running around there as well, just to have a look, because we know the bigger it gets, the more different perspectives come in. But we want to make it a fun place, and all I can say is everyone is absolutely free, to share their opinions. Just be mindful of how you word things to each other. Just be mindful of just respecting other people's views as well, and then I think it will roll off pretty well. That's where I think the main kind of rub comes up against me for some of the conflict that does happen. But a huge thank you to the likes of Lena and Jay Bird as well. It's just I'm very proud as well, Rebecca, of being able to have not only just the podcast, but this group where we get to celebrate a really cool comic book character we love, but on top of that, have that extra layer of learning more about, a part of Moon Knight, and something that is very important to a lot of people in the world. So forever grateful to be able to have that as part of, our journey and our enjoyment of enrichment of the knowing the character.
Yeah, definitely helped so much.
Yeah. So a huge thank you. Those were the only responses we did get as well. Again, it's I've kept a couple of posts up there on our social media. So if you want to drop a line or just continue a conversation, or you want to chat with the likes of Lena or Jaybird as well to learn more, I know both of them are very prominent on both Facebook and Discord, I believe, as well. So you can catch them on either. But that pretty much wraps our feedback for this, Rebecca.
I mean, I don't think we were expecting a huge ton of feedback.
No.
So very much appreciate you both taking your time out. And I just really suggest everyone gives their $10 to that webinar.
Yep.
If not, have a look at the names of the people contributing, donate to those organizations.
Yes.
And on the 5th of March, take a breather and have a think, consider sharing something about DID, see if you can at least promote it on social media.
Yeah, that sounds very good indeed. And on our post as well, you'll see some hashtags as well, which I did see on a free poster that you get for DID Awareness Day, stuff like hashtag #WeToo and DID Awareness Day. You can just add to your tweets or whatever posts, and they'll all kind of link into I guess on the day you'll get to filter out similar like-minded comments. But having said that, Rebecca, we do have plenty up ahead. So along with the 5th of March, it's a bumper week this week and next week as well.
Crazy week.
So with the 5th of March coming up soon as well, our next episode, next phase, 269, where Rebecca and I are back again. We're doing another Moonshine reaction episode. It will be a live stream as per our new format. We'll be looking at the latest.
I have to find another cool T-shirt.
Oh gosh, Rebecca, just don't use that other one again. Have you got one of the new Moon Knight ones? I thought did you order them or no, not yet. Okay.
I'm waiting. I don't think they're not up on Amazon UK yet.
Oh, okay.
So I'm waiting for them to go on up on Amazon because obviously I'm not going to pay the extra shipping.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But I've also asked my, so I haven't yet. But I've got my other Moon Knight one, but I'm saving that for a special live stream.
Okay. The watch party. Anyway.
Not a big surprise.
Exactly. And mind you as well, I want to shout out because Rebecca has been working very hard on it with the watch party and with the TV show coming up. Yes, ITK does have a bingo card.
I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we'll be distributing that out, and you can play at your leisure while you watch, I guess. But yeah, that'll be a lot of fun to do as well. Okay. But anyway. Yeah. This week as well, it'll be in a couple of days' time, Rebecca and I will be looking at Moon Knight issue 9 by Jed MacKay, Alessandro Cappuccio and Rochelle Rosenberg.
Cannot wait.
Oh my gosh, the cover looks awesome as well. I have no idea what to expect. I have
no idea.
Very cool, very cool. So stay tuned with us. The date and time for us live streaming is on our social media platforms. Go check it out. Come join us if you can as well in a couple of days. Thank you so much, Rebecca. Thank you. And great. Any plugs
tomorrow?
Yeah. Any other? Plugs
no. I'll leave those till tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. For sure. Look, I think I'll play the pre-recorded. I want to say a big thank you to our patronies, of course. I want to name them. I always do. Yeah. A big thank you to Daniel, Drew, Justin, Derek, Kyle, Frank, Wayne, Jordan, Josh, James, Anthony, Russell, Michael, Mario, Gavin, and Matthew. Thank you so much. I did send out long overdue the ITK stickers to the tiers that are, what's the word? That are able to get them. So hopefully, they'll make the way over to the UK and the US soon. So keep a lookout, patronies. If you are expecting stickers, I did send messages to each of you to expect it. Also, as well, check out the page, patreon.com/ITK Moon Knight. A quick rundown, CLZ Comics again, Collectorz.com is where you can find it and consider joining. A great database for all your comic book needs. Daniel doing his Fringe Knight is an original indie comic based on Erie, Pennsylvania's very own mysterious superhero. Go check it out on patreon.com/Fringe Knight 27. Daniel is doing some pulp prose, which is really cool, to further enrich his universe of Fringe Knight. So you can check all that out on his Patreon. Drew Tombz on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Tombz with a Z, and LURKMUSIK on Bandcamp, LURKMUSIK with a CK.bandcamp.com. Go check Drew's music. I still got to find an excuse to use it on the show. Thank you, Drew. It's fantastic music. Go check it out. And he's recording some new stuff as well, I hear. Dreamland Comics as well. Use the code MOON and get 20% off their online store for all your back issues. Go get yourself some more Fist of Khonshu issue 2 for Arthur Harrow. And finally, we're part of the collective. A great bunch of people. So Rebecca, she's on the DCAU, the DC Animated Universe podcast, and also Sons of the Dragon and Immortal Iron Fist podcast. But you can also check out cool shows like EMP, Earth's Mightiest podcast, and Resurrections, Thanos and Adam Warlock podcast. Finally, you can email us at feedback@itkmoonlight.com. We always love to hear from you, and we'll always, if you want, shout out and discuss on the show. We've got a website, itkmoonlight.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Discord, Get Vocal, and Podchaser. And if you can leave a review on any of like Spotify, I don't know, Google Podcasts, Apple, it would really help just to get us out there a bit more. But we just appreciate you listening to us as well. So thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So with that, Rebecca, I guess I'll see you in a day's time. We'll read the comic. I hope you don't get too inundated with work and everything.
Should be too bad. I've got a few days off soon. So
yes, and your time off will be something to look forward to as well. So yeah, hope you have fun. With that, everybody, may Khonshu watch over the denizens of the night. Catch you later.
Bye.
Moon Knight and affiliated characters, stories and events are properties of Marvel Characters Incorporated. Materials used and discussed within the podcast are intended for critique and review purposes only under the fair dealing concept of the current Copyright Act. The views, information, or opinions expressed during the podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of the copyright owners.